Hello everyone, I'm Friendly Clairvaux, morning news anchor for Good Day Columbia on Watch Fox. I would like to personally welcome you and thank you all for joining us tonight. Now, a few housekeeping items before we get started. If you are here physically with us at Saluda Shows, listen up. Please keep your headlights off during the presentation. Now, if you need to use the restrooms, they are located up the stairs in the building, right in the front of the stairs in the playground area. And now on to tonight's program. This organization and mission is extremely special to me because as a father, it is heartbreaking each and every time that I have to report about this on our newscast. I would like to say thank you to Lighthouse4Life and their entire team for spending a lot of time praying and planning this event, especially for you. We know that the subject of human and sex trafficking can be emotional, and it's hard for most folks to even talk about it. So that's why Lighthouse4Life exists. Now, I want to introduce you to someone that is very special. Lighthouse4Life is blessed to have her as a speaker, educator, a fighter, and a friend. Please welcome the CEO of Lighthouse4Life, Jen Thompson.
Thank you so much, Friendy. And it's an honor for us to have you as our MC.
Thank you so much.
And also just to have you individually, like you said, as a father, standing in the gap for this fight for your children and for our state of South Carolina.
Absolutely, very important. We know this is a horrific global and a local issue, and Lighthouse4Life, you all have been in the front lines working and helping out. So there isn't any other place that I would rather be than to support this endeavor, especially here tonight. Now, this event would not be possible without individuals, churches, and organizations rallying around and supporting Lighthouse4Life.
That's right. I'd like to recognize and thank our presenting sponsor, Leading the Wise Way. And we have Lorraine Wiseman from Leading the Wise Way here to welcome everyone.
Welcome everybody to the night to fund the fight. My name is Lorraine Wiseman and I'm the president and CEO of Leading the Wise Way. I'm looking forward to reaching out and hearing how this organization can really touch your heart. What brings me to fund the fight and support and be a sponsor of Lighthouse4Life is the need in our own backyard, the need in our community, the need globally to fight this fight. And if we can do one small part to bring this all together, we have a better chance. My message to you as a CEO and president of Leading the Wise Way, my message to you is please join us. Please join us in this fight. When I first met Jen, I was a little concerned about, well, what can I really bring to this group? What can I bring? I don't do what they do every day with the survivors. I admire them. I look up to them. So what's the one small thing that I can do to have an impact on you and this community? And the one thing that we can do together is provide that sustainability that Lighthouse4Life so much needs. We need to fund the fight. We need to reach deep into our pockets and make this organization sustainable so that they can keep on doing the amazing things that they do every day to support the survivors and to build awareness in our own backyard. We have to think about sustainability. We have to keep Lighthouse4Life going forever. Be sure that it's funded so that the people that are doing the job are able to continue their important work. That's why I chose to be tonight's presenting sponsor, and I encourage you to reach into your pockets today and your pockets in the future to help sustain and grow the awareness that Lighthouse4Life is bringing to our community.
Again, Friendy, I want to take a moment and just thank all of the sponsors for tonight's event. And for those of you here with us at Saluda Shoals, you can find a list of all the sponsors in your swag bag.
So during our event, you'll hear from a number of subject experts and learn more about Lighthouse4Life. You'll also hear about the terrible effects that human trafficking causes, and we're talking lasting effects.
It's true. It's really true. And we want to bring awareness to the updates that have been going on in the ministry, though, because we've offered support for survivors and we have resources for people, family, friends, coworkers. And we want to bring all of that to the front tonight.
And human trafficking is a global issue, but it's not just a global issue, it's also a local issue. We're talking about here in the Midlands and across South Carolina. So anywhere you live, anywhere you work, it is most likely happening around you. And it's possible that you might see it and you might not even realize you're witnessing it.
It's really true. It can be hidden in plain sight, and it's definitely not as dramatic as Hollywood may have us think of a kidnapping.
Right.
It's much more innocent foundations that even a photograph between a boyfriend and a girlfriend could fall into the wrong hands and be used against someone. And so we have to be diligent. We have to educate ourselves. We have to pray and stay awake and stay alert and not get distracted. And speaking of prayer, this entire organization was birthed from the heart of our founder, Andrea Wind, from prayer.
Wow.
And so it actually brings me great joy to introduce her to you now.
Yes, thank you so much, Jen. I am Andrea Wind, and I am the founder of Lighthouse4Life. And many years ago, God laid this on my heart, and I'd love to share with you a little bit about my story. In 2013, I was a former teacher turned stay-at-home mom of 2 small children, sitting in a church service, listening to a sermon about human trafficking, when I heard God speak to me very clearly that he wanted me to join this fight against this evil. I wish that I could say that I was quick to obey and listen, but out of fear, I had a lot of resistance and tried to run as far away as I could from this. After a few months of God doing many things to get my attention on this issue, I finally surrendered and said, yes, I will do whatever it is that you're asking me to do. So I started educating myself and just trying to learn more about what this human trafficking was, because to be honest, I thought that it was something that only happened in third world countries, something that honestly didn't affect my life. As I started researching and educating myself about this issue, I quickly learned that it does affect me, and it is a huge issue here in America. Didn't matter if I was living in a small city, in a large city, if it was urban, it was rural, it was affecting me. Around this time, I also started having a more clear vision of what it was that God was asking me to do. And it was to start a nonprofit organization that would fight against human trafficking, that would educate others like myself about how huge of an issue this is here in America and in the city that they're living in, and also provide resources and a safe place for those survivors of this horrendous evil that's taking place. This has not been an easy road, but God has always shown himself faithful in both the little and the big things. I am so grateful and humbled that so many of you have joined this mission. As you can see, there's no way that one or even a few people can tackle this major issue alone. It takes tremendous amount of time, effort, and money to keep the momentum of our team moving forward at such a strong pace. Many have supported Lighthouse4Life from the beginning, and we have a ton of new partnerships since. I would like to personally say thank you. Thank you to all of our donors and partners that have blessed us. You are our lifeblood. In fact, we received a generous donation just this week of $7,000 from someone very special to us. This $7,000 is actually a matching donation. So the first $7,000 that come in tonight will be matched dollar for dollar. This will help us in educating the public and bringing resources and rehabilitation for those survivors. But even with this great gift, we're in need of more. Jen and her team will educate you on just how big this issue has gotten. So we are calling on you to partner with Lighthouse for Life and join us in tackling this horrific situation that so many people and families are having experience with. Everyone has a role to play in this. For me, it was to simply say yes to God. What is your role?
Thanks, Andrea. I know that myself and the whole community is so thankful that you founded this organization and for all the hard work you put into it. Because human trafficking is a major problem that exists in our culture and in South Carolina. I mean, if you've watched the news lately or look on social media, you're going to see countless stories of people that have been arrested, but you're just as likely to see like a social innuendo that you don't even understand that you're seeing at the moment through text and graphics and memes and all these things. Sexual exploitation is literally happening under our noses, guys. Now, if you've got kids, I wonder if you know who they're talking to while they're home, supposedly safe, in their room on their phone. I wonder if you know who they're meeting at school and who their friends at school are introducing them to. I wonder if you know who they're spending time with when they're out and about at restaurants and just doing their social outings. Now, as loved ones or parents, we cannot control our kids, not all the time. We can't even place a shield around them as hard as we might try, but we can, however, educate them, and we can educate ourselves. So Lighthouse for Life, we try hard to educate parents and the community on what to look for because there are signs, and we should be diligently aware of what these signs are. One thing you want to be aware of is screen time. How much time is your child spending alone on a screen? That is a contributing factor. Late night screen time is killer. So while it is true that there are people in society that are more vulnerable than other people, if you, listening to me right now, think that trafficking can't or won't ever happen to you, you're wrong. And I need you to be aware of that. Not out of fear, but out of preparation and just prevention. Trafficking, it's happening at an alarming rate. People are being bought and sold. Unfortunately, people are a reusable commodity. And so every day in South Carolina, modern day slavery is in existence and it has to stop. Now, there's no reason to be vague. I don't want to be coarse, but when we're talking about human trafficking, we're talking about sex trafficking. And so we want to talk about why is this happening? Is it because we're so disconnected? We're connected on our devices, but are we connected on a soul level? Is it because there's peer pressure from culture? Is it an attention thing? Is it due to an absent mom or an absent dad or an absent guardian? Could it be because some young person is just looking for love and attention? We all are. Every human has that common vulnerability. Now, these are all contributing factors, but there's something to think about from the perspective of the trafficker. Traffickers use disguises. So let's talk about 4 disguises real quick. Disguise number 1 is the pretender. Now, this is going to take place when the trafficker is going to befriend the victim by making them feel loved, wanted, valued, special. They're going to pretend to care, and to care in a way that nobody else ever has. Now traffickers, they can appear as a pretender as a boyfriend, as a girlfriend, as a mentor, a parental figure. Oftentimes, due to no fault of the victim, they form some sort of trauma bond with the pretender, and they're blind to the reality and the situation that they find themselves in because the pretender's that good at having that disguise. Now, sometimes the trafficker will come along and they'll provide. Disguise number 2 is a provider. Now, this happens maybe when someone offers someone a job, maybe a certain type of lifestyle. But honestly, sometimes just the offer to meet a basic need, to provide the basic needs that a person's not used to having. Sometimes the provider will introduce alcohol or drugs, and they'll get the person addicted to it, and the use of them providing that is a really easy way to force someone into doing something they didn't want, to exploit that relationship. Believe it or not, victims sometimes feel that they owe the trafficker because of all that they've provided. Now, the 3rd disguise is a protector. And this could come in many forms. It could come at school in the so-called popular girls. Maybe they're luring someone into a situation of exploitation so that they'll be accepted. Maybe somebody is coming along and being a champion for someone who's being bullied at school. Another scenario we've seen often is someone is being abused by a friend or a family member and they're not being believed. And so the protector comes along and becomes a champion. And by becoming a champion for the victim, the emotional bond is harder to break than ever. The fourth kind of disguise we want to talk about that might be worn by the trafficker is a promiser. This would be where a person tells the victim whatever they have to, any promise that they have to make in order to get them to do what they want. You may hear a story like, well, you'll only have to dance at the club for a little while, or we'll only do this just until we get enough money to move into our new place, and then you won't have to do that anymore. Traffickers are smart. They're smart in all their disguises. Promisers are smart enough to know what to offer whatever victim they're talking to, and they can tell what they're desperate for. So they'll promise them whatever it takes to get them to do whatever they want. Now, if these four disguises don't work, traffickers often turn to the word we call a punisher. And this is where the threat of physical harm may be introduced to the person that's a victim or to somebody that they care about. And it's not unusual at all for a trafficker to threaten harm to a victim's family member, children. Traffickers don't care. I wonder, truly, stop and ask yourself, what would you give in and do if you thought doing that would keep somebody that you love from being harmed? Traffickers are manipulative, and they are cruel, and they will use any and all forms necessary. The words in the law in South Carolina, force, fraud, and coercion, are the descriptors of what traffickers do to get their victims to do whatever it is that it takes to help them make money. Sex trafficking is a lucrative, evil trade of our times. And though there are different methods of recruiting and different disguises, all of these pathways lead to one place, and that is exploitation and violence.
Unfortunately, there are so many people out there who can fall victim to a predator without even realizing that it's happening.
It's true.
And so we know about and have been able to help, and sometimes some people don't even realize it. So if you or someone you know needs help and happens to be watching, you can call the number listed below. We will leave that number up for a few minutes. Lighthouse4Life, and I know, Jennifer, you understand this,
Totally.
understands that human trafficking can be confusing and might make you feel embarrassed. And some people don't even want to talk about it. Please know that there are no stupid questions, there is no judgment, and they will ensure that anyone who reaches out will help them understand. At this time, I want to introduce a couple of important people to the Lighthouse4Life's team, your coworkers you work with.
They're wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. Vicki Jackson, the interim director of the Survivor Care Program, and Heather Pounds, the Survivor Care Coordinator. Vicki is a licensed master social worker and has several years of experience in anti-human trafficking work. In fact, she used to be the Richland County Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force Coordinator. Heather has lived experience that helps bring awareness to the mindset of victims and survivors, so they both bring their own perspectives to the program.
Thanks so much. Lighthouse4Life Survivor Care Ministry aims to help survivors during their restoration process and to help the family members of victims and survivors while in the life and out of the life.
Heather's role as a survivor care coordinator is an integral part of this ministry. She provides a perspective that none of the other staff can provide. She was the spark that ignited this ministry and brings passionate fire to it. However, fire on its own can become wild and burn out. To prevent that from happening, the director position serves as the control line. As interim director, I coach and mentor Heather and develop the policies and procedures for the survivor care program that will ensure its longevity, while Heather provides the individual services and is truly the heart of this ministry. Heather, as the heart of this ministry, and I really mean it when I say you're an integral part of this program, can you share with everybody else the need? Because you've helped me as the survivor care director figure out the need of this program. And I would love for you to have an opportunity to kind of share what you shared with me and why we need to develop this program.
Yes, absolutely. I believe support is very important. And as you heard Vicki say, she's my coach and she's my mentor. And I, as a survivor that's been out of the life for many years, still need a coach and a mentor. And this is why we want to create the survivor care program for women who do self-identify or may not self-identify yet, but they still need support. I know support is very important. I'm dealing with hurt, I'm dealing with pain, I'm dealing with all the aftermath of what it was like to be trafficked, and I can't do it on my own. and neither can these ladies. So they need someone to help guide them and push them through during the hard times and celebrate them in the good times. And so it's been very important, especially since we've had an influx of phone calls for women reaching out, looking for support and looking for a group to be a part of. So we're excited about what's taking place at Lighthouse for Life in our survivor care groups.
And our survivor care ministry serves as a broker to the community, to the victims, the survivors, the family members, by partnering with other agencies to provide the services that they need, because we can't do it alone. We are currently providing support, coaching, and mentoring with the goal to help support survivors, again, through the restoration process. Through the generosity of our funders, we have been able to provide financial support for tattoo removal and have assisted in obtaining legal documents, transportation, and other things for our survivors. We've also begun developing professional partnerships with counseling agencies, tattoo parlors, and chiropractic offices to provide either free or discounted services to our survivors in need. Our ultimate goal is to walk side by side with these survivors during the restoration process and empower them to speak up and speak out. If you would like to learn more about this program and the other programs we offer at Lighthouse for Life, please visit our website at lighthouseforlife.org.
Wow, Jen, talk about the strength and the courage coming from those ladies.
They're mind-blowing.
Lighthouse for Life has worked tirelessly to construct and open a safe home for girls aged 12 to 21 who are coming out of the dark world of sex trafficking. Lindsay Laird is the Charis Home Director, and she is going to talk to us about some new and exciting updates regarding the home. Lindsay?
Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay Laird and I'm the director out at Charis Home. I want to give our Lighthouse for Life community some updates on how things are coming along at our safe house. First, we want to celebrate with you that we've already had our DSS site visit as well as our DHEC site visit, and both went very smoothly, for which we give God praise. Another major update is that we made the decision to change our care model from having a primary caregiving couple in the home to having an all-female staff of shift workers to cover the home 24/7. This meant going from needing 12 staff members to needing around 20 staff members in order to serve our residents. Many of you have been praying for us to find our resident care coordinator, and I am happy to report that we have found her. We also have almost all of the other staff members hired for Charis Home, so now we are working on getting everyone trained so that we can begin accepting residents. We covet your prayers over our staff and our residential program as we move forward with being able to open our doors as the Lord wills. Thank you for standing with us in this fight.
Well, lastly, but certainly not least, Lighthouse for Life holds community, organizational, and first responder education seminars across the Midlands and the state of South Carolina. Felicia Doway of DJJ and the newest Lighthouse for Life board member will tell us about these educational services. Felicia.
Thanks, Friendy and Jen. My name is Felicia Dallway, and I work for the Department of Juvenile Justice, and I'm also the newest board member for Lighthouse for Life, and I'm so excited that I get to talk with people about education and awareness for human trafficking. I started my career with DJJ over 20 years ago, and in one of those roles as the Victim Services Manager, I had the pleasure of coming in contact with Jen. I was introduced by Captain Heidi Jackson at the Richland County Sheriff's Department, and our connection made it possible to provide so much training and education to our folks at DJJ. Free awareness and education is important because not only as a mom, but as a sister, as a friend, as a daughter, I feel that it's important because girls and young women are more susceptible to child sex trafficking, and being a mom of a girl and two boys, it's really important that we educate our kids, that we make them aware, they know what to look for, and they know what to do. So not everyone is comfortable talking about child sex trafficking or human trafficking, and that's where Lighthouse for Life comes in. They will come to you, they will have the conversation, and they will tailor it to kids and adults of all ages. So they will make sure not only that it's age appropriate, but the information is good and can be shared with others. Most state agencies are strapped for cash. They can't afford training, they can't afford the awareness for someone to come in and speak and educate them. So Lighthouse for Life provides that bridge for us when it comes to education and awareness. And once our agency gets the education and awareness that's needed, then we're able to better protect the community and the youth and the families that we serve. Not only does Lighthouse for Life provide free training and awareness to state agencies, it could be your church, it could be your sorority or your fraternity, it could be your neighborhood get-together, maybe you have a crime watch, anything of that nature. So they will come anywhere in South Carolina at no cost to you, and they will do it with a smile on their face. And it's very important that Lighthouse for Life is able to come into communities and provide this free awareness and this free education, because the more education and the more awareness, the more can be done to prevent human trafficking. It's more that can be done to prevent child sex trafficking, and it ensure that maybe your niece, your nephew, your neighbor, maybe the young lady that you're in Bible study would know exactly what to do should she or he be faced with this. I know you guys have received a lot of great information tonight, and if you want to learn more about Lighthouse for Life, please visit the website. Thank you. We look forward to hearing from you.
Wow, a lot of great information there, Felicia. Thank you so much for that. Now, if you would like to talk to Lighthouse for Life about hosting a training, please email info@lighthouseforlife.org.
Yeah, and Friendy, I just got to thank you from my heart for being with us this evening
Yeah.
and for what you mean to us as an agency. If those of you who may not know, Friendy has actually stood with us for several years, helping us with the 5K and bringing awareness by having us come on the news.
Absolutely.
And being willing to give time to the topic.
Yeah, and it's so important because, like I mentioned earlier tonight, as a father, as a parent, when we have to report this on the news and see, it's just heartbreaking, and I'm wondering in my mind, wow, I cannot imagine the hurt that this parent has to feel knowing that their child is somewhere doing something that they don't want to do, or they're bound to it. And, you know, earlier we talked about prayer and how that is so important. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to get involved and be a part, because I knew that this organization was really about helping others.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's so true. And you know, it'd be a really great time to give a shout out to a few of the people that have allowed us to help others. But I'm going to sneak in a little surprise for my coworker that's going to be sharing with you some of the sponsors and the award winners from the community. But Lisa Kerr was the very first paid staff member Lighthouse for Life ever had. She's our COO.
Wow.
And October 1st was her 5-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
And so happy anniversary to Lisa. You talk about someone in the trenches. And now Lisa's actually going to come and join us and share some special thanks with others who have been fighting in the trenches too.
Hey, my name is Lisa Kerr. I'm the CEO of Lighthouse for Life, and I'm super excited to be here today. Jen, thank you so much for those very kind words. I certainly don't feel like I deserve them, but I am honored to be a part of Lighthouse for Life and get to invest any way that I can over the past 5 years and certainly for hopefully years to come. But for right now, I'm super excited to get to announce this year's Volunteer of the Year Award for Jennifer Alderman. Jennifer, this is for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Jennifer has been a part of our organization for several years, and we are just honored to have her. Not only does her company, Fortress Martial Arts, support us financially, but she has also supported us as our 5K coordinator over the past few years and almost single-handedly has run that. And she is a community liaison for us and brings in lots of partnerships and has helped with many other events and fundraisers, and has been a huge advocate really on the behalf of survivors in this fight. And so we're just really thankful for you and look forward to many more years with you.
Thank you so much.
This award is also being sponsored today by Brandon Caldwell in the Southeastern Land Group. Thank you so much for your partnership with us and your sponsorship so that we can honor Jennifer this way.
Congratulations.
You know, it's Jennifer Alderman is here on behalf of many volunteers that have been a part of Lighthouse for Life and the efforts of this ministry. But it's not just the volunteers that we want to honor this year with our awards. We also want to recognize that the community plays a big part in this fight against human trafficking. And one community member in particular is who we want to honor today with another award. So we'd like to transition now to our Community Advocate Award. Our 2020 Community Advocate Award is going to go to Captain Heidi Jackson.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Heidi Jackson. Heidi has been with Lighthouse for Life longer than I have. She's actually was with Andrea Wind, our founder, when she first birthed this vision of Lighthouse for Life and had this whole idea to start this ministry. Heidi Jackson was there with her. She actually was on the founding board with us and has been a board member. She is a huge role model in this fight against human trafficking in the state. She's a speaker. She speaks on behalf of the survivors in court situations. She has just been a tremendous support to this whole fight against human trafficking in the state of South Carolina. Richland County is one of the leading in the state as far as their efforts to fight human trafficking, and that is in large part to Heidi Jackson. So thank you so much for all that you have done, not just for Lighthouse for Life, but for this whole fight against trafficking in the state and really in the nation. We just got recognized in the news last night, actually, for efforts nationwide with some of the federal cases. So thank you for what you're doing. And this award has been sponsored by Brian Autry and Kennison, Dudley, and Crawford Law Group. And so we're just very grateful for them. Brian Autry has actually worked with us on a lot of different situations as well. So it's an honor to have you standing up here with us and supporting Captain Jackson with this award today. Thank you.
Congratulations, Captain Jackson.
Thank you. You know, Captain Heidi Jackson and Jennifer Alderman are just a couple of examples of a lot of great people who have been a part of Lighthouse for Life in this whole fight. And we really want to just take a second to thank each and every one of you for the role that you guys play in joining us in this fight against human trafficking. Again, it could be partnering with Lighthouse for Life individually. It could be your support for us. It could also just be anything and everything that you do to stand for survivors, to prevent human trafficking, to advocate on behalf of those who are victimized by this horrible crime in the state of South Carolina. So thank you to each of you.
I support Lighthouse for Life.
I support Lighthouse for Life.
I support Lighthouse for Life.
My name is Felicia Dalway, and I support Lighthouse for Life.
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 Hello, I'm Friendy Clairvaux, a father, and I support Lighthouse for Life because they're bringing light into a dark situation.
I support Lighthouse for Life.
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 I support Lighthouse for Life, and you should too. It's a subject that nobody wants to think about, but until we start thinking about it, we can't start talking about it. Until we start talking about it, we can't end it. Please support Lighthouse for Life, and I know that I always will.
I support Lighthouse for Life.
We support Lighthouse for Life.
I support Lighthouse for Life.
Hi, my name is Reggie Gaiman, and I support Lighthouse for Life.
We support Lighthouse for Life.
Hey guys, this is Eve Cochran with Lexington Police Department, celebrating Lighthouse for Life and saying that I support and I fund the fight.
Hi, I'm Jeff Kersey, Senior Pastor at Mount Horeb United Methodist Church here in Lexington, South Carolina. I support Lighthouse for Life because it's a ministry that's bringing light into the darkest places in our world. Jesus called us to be light because he is the light of the world. Thank you, Lighthouse for Life.
Bright light on the corner of a dark street. Just a cardboard sign and a can in between some dirty bare feet. Eyes that I can't bring myself to meet. Well, I could spare 20 if I knew you were using it to get just what you need. And ooh, 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 I'm just another cold shoulder. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You're somebody's brother, somebody's son, somebody's mother, father, somebody's someone, and somebody's missing you back where you came from. Wherever you go, I hope you know you're somebody somewhere. You're somebody somewhere.
You might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed. We have gone through tons of information. We've heard from experts, and we understand that your emotions are really probably running high right now. And just imagine, this is what the Lighthouse for Life team has to face each and every day. Wow. From educational seminars to community events to victim advocacy and to helping victims actually recover. And that's why we're asking for your support. If you are here physically here tonight at Saluda Shows, we're asking you to take a moment to look into your swag bag and to pull out this card right here. And on the back it says, I will invest in fighting human trafficking. So we're asking you to please help out this nonprofit organization, and you can see what they're doing to help people come out of a dark, dark time in their life. So if you're not here physically, we're asking you to go to the event landing page, choose which donation level best suits your budget, and to stand with us. Now, for those of you who are here, once you fill out this card, there will be someone as you're exiting, you can give them the card as well as your gift. So Jen, a lot of information, but an incredible night.
Yeah, so encouraging to see all the faces that are standing with us.
Absolutely. So thank you. And on behalf of Jen Thompson and her entire team at Lighthouse for Life, good night and stay safe.
Picking up the phone, who's it gonna be this time? This time. It's the sound of your voice, but it ain't really you on the line. When you gonna come out on the other side? Well, it's on you, 'cause you know there ain't nothing I can do, no matter how hard I try. And can make you drink that water. Ooh, you're somebody's brother, somebody's son, somebody's mother, father, somebody's someone, somebody's missing you back where you came from. You're somebody somewhere, somebody somewhere, and I will lose you time and time again, but we'll be there for you right until the end. 'Cause you're my only brother, my mother's son, and I'm still your little sister. Somebody, someone.